Hook up my other phone. But here's what we painted last week. Didn't do much more on it. I'm looking at this thing right here. Let me change you guys. Sorry. Yeah. This is what we worked on last week. This birch thing. Yeah, it turned out okay. There's a few things like I was saying about this thing. You take it away, it just if you could see as soon as you take it away how much better it gets. So you either get rid of it or make it something. I'm probably going to lean towards probably just getting rid of it now and put something else. Make these flowers better back here, a little brighter. They just don't jump the way they should. Also, let me get this thing lowered. There we go. So we look, yeah, so much more professional. I just got to set up my other phone. One second. And then we'll get going.
What if you put that branch all the way up, Jim? Wouldn't that be better?
I'll look at it. I'm going to look at it, taking it all the way up and out of there.
That's what I did. But then I literally did something I think I don't like, which is I ran it almost right to the corner.
Right. And that's exactly what I was going to say is that goes to the corner and just points people that way.
Yeah. I have to fix mine too.
Yeah, it's got to do something. Well, what you can do is just add a stop to it, a little break in it, just a twig or something like that, part of it. And that will probably do it too.
Jim, I had one of my trees crossing the back of that. Is that a no-no?
I got one back here.
Yeah, but I put it out the other side, so that's okay. It's not what you call a tangent or anything like that. Or maybe it's because it's crossing right where that dark branch is. Maybe that's what's bothering me.
It could be. A lot of times those crosses are signals to look here almost. And if you don't want them to really look there, you want to get away from that. Just watch it, soften it. Sometimes it's just enough. Okay. All you have to do is soften it for they're both not, hitting sharply at you.
Okay.
Look at that.
Maybe it's like some soft twigs coming off that dark guy or something.
Yeah, a leaf or something, maybe even. Who knows? You could. It should have been explored more, but I was kind of busy this week. So.
Yeah, congratulations on all your awards. Oh my goodness. I don't know.
You get, you pay the judges the right amount, and you have no problem.
You're the best.
You can't be cheap on that. They're expensive. Okay.
I love it.
Yeah. It's a whole new world we live in. So, we can't.
Bribery is the order of the day.
Right. But you can't win right. I'm going to cheat. So, there we go.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
I get lucky. It really, you never know. I wish, not using that one. Sorry. Probably don't need to plug it in, but I like to plug it in just in case it does not go. Don't lose it. Yeah, who knows? Anyway, again, last week we did pretty well. It's still wet. That's a nice thing. Sometimes you get a line. Sometimes you want to just blur it out. It's a good time. There's a certain time of when the paint's at a certain stage of drying. You can still get in there, especially with whites, and manipulate it a little bit and just make a little mark, and it will just make the mark and won't just do a smear and stuff. So sometimes look at that. But definitely back in here, there's something I want to do back in here. I'm not happy with. I think just got to bring out the bluebells a little bit cleaner. Then I'll be happy, right? I don't know. I tell one of the things about painting, that painting I just won third place with. I repainted that dog painting. I didn't repaint, but I went back into it about 4 times after I had it where I thought was finished. Refixing the muzzle, changing the eyes, changing the water, all at different times. I repainted that stick 3 times in his mouth just because it just didn't feel right. So, sometimes you gotta, just keep after it. It's almost there, but you just, sometimes you just got to listen to yourself and say, yeah, okay, I will change it. Even though it's a pain in the butt to go back into these paintings. I like to be done with them and just go on. But sometimes when they have something special in them, you try not to lose what's special in them and just, hit those things you gotta hit. So it's a little like having a plan before you just dive into something and go, I'm not sure why I don't like this painting, but I don't. So making sure you have specific plans that to fix, and try not to go overboard, because that's when you ruin paintings. You just go, oh shit, I just overpainted, now I don't like it anymore. That happens so much. So just little things. All right. Today we are gonna have a cow. I'm gonna give everybody a cow. The thing about this guy we're gonna talk about, or this gal, is no edges. No sharp edges. We're gonna try and keep the amount of sharp edges to a minimum. Even the side here, just try to keep a softer edge to it. And even around the eyes, keep things. This is an interesting shot because it's kind of taken, in the fall when they bring the cows in for the winter, and they bring them into the hay barns and areas, and you just see this heat, the smoke, the steam come from the cows, because we're out in the cold and they're coming into this warmer air, and they just fog up. The whole place just fogs up for a while. I saw that on Clarkston's farm, when they did it, and when I saw this, I go, yeah, that's what happens. That is pretty cool. I know exactly this timing. So I thought, yeah, I've had this photo and just said, I'm going to sit on it. Sooner or later, I'll paint it, or I'll force my classes to paint, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going to force you guys to paint it with me. So we'll see how it goes. It should be fun. It should be a lot of fun. So let me pull up the photos. We'll go through it and say, yay, nay, who knows? You guys make some decisions. Interesting. You see it gray wise. When I saw this, too, it's just like, yeah, darks. Lots and lots of darks and whites. And those darks are even darker than 9s here. They're pretty, those guys are pretty much all the way down there. They're all way down past 9. So no white at all, pretty much in this cow, except for highlights areas and some drift of smoke, but that has to be put in at the end. That has to be put in a certain way, or it has to come in when the paint's all wet, and you can get a lot of a lot of smear of that. That's a good way to paint clouds too. So a lot of things will translate to other kind of paintings, but if you guys are going to paint wet dogs again, this is another one probably help you out with them, right? Well, we got a lot of darks, and then your lights. Your lights are pretty high. They're around 2.5. So I looked at it. They're around 2.5. So they're not really twos. Even back, you can see back in here. It's a little darker than that. It's not really a 3. But if I was going to lean somewhere, I'd probably lean towards the 3 and to the grayer side. They are always going to be with the contrast with the dark of the cow and the light. The lights are always going to be a little bit brighter because these darks are so dark. So they're going to come at you a little brighter than you think. So keep them at 3 would be fine. I would love to keep it at 3. Use 2s as your maximum values. You might, there's a couple of hints over here in the corner here, areas like here that it's nothing. They got light up here. That's really nothing. No one's that your painting is not going to be lost there. So don't worry about that kind of stuff. Don't, really keep the fog. It's all about, again, soft edges.
So in other words, don't put those lights or
don't concentrate on them. They could just be a glow. A slight change to a 2 maybe, but nothing too harsh. Because we don't, anything that bright will kind of will take away from this guy pretty quickly. But in the color version, now you can see all the richness. This is what I loved about it. I just saw this, okay, I have another version of this where it's a mean cow. Looks more like a mean cow because it's it's breathing heavy, and so there's a lot of steam coming down in here. Yeah, I know. It looks, but this guy was just a little more simple and cleaner than that. I didn't want to give, the idea of something being angry or something. I wasn't trying. I didn't want that kind of story. I just want a simple, clean story that doesn't conjure up something else that I'm not really planning on. Colors definitely on the red side. Look at how warm this guy is. The coolness of the light behind him. You can see this purplish colors in here, the cooler blues, purples and stuff coming in there. But then you see this guy. Yeah, he had a lot of warmth, a lot of reds, a little different reds in here, going in here, different values of it, different things of it. Look at this warm nose, how warm that is. That has a lot of richness into it. I mean, that that has it's just warmth. I'm just trying to say warmth, and it's a different warmth. It's a different warmth than this stuff. This is a reds, has different reds. This has a little more yellow in it, browns and stuff, and so it does separate from all these reds in the face. Looking at, so keep that in mind. Doesn't mean we can't use some of these browns into this areas or stuff, but you really need these reds to push, be to help separate these two darks from each other. You do have a little bit of light, coming around the muzzle here, and the light here that will, really, those things. If you have to hit perfectly, you have to hit those guys hard. You can miss everything in here pretty much, but if you hit these areas, your painting will be golden. That's all, because this stuff doesn't mean anything. We can't tell. I'm not a cow doctor. I don't know exact muscles back there, things like that. It's just dark. There's some darks with some streaky, paint lines in it. That's what I'm looking for. Maybe right around the neck here, you can see the slight difference of warmth and value come forward, helps push the neck, and becomes the neck, and pushes that head out a little bit at us. And then that highlight. Yeah, you get that cheek highlight and that muzzle highlight and that highlight, and then just this little one up here. You get that one. You get those guys in. That's nothing but a, that's all it is. So little strokes can make a painting. Everything else, is going to be soft and gooey and things. Oh, yeah, yeah, you got a couple of highlights around the nose, which would be really nice. Drop of those guys in nicely. That's what I'm thinking.
Are those going to be like scratches?
They could be that easy as just perfect little scratches. Good way to think about them. But, that's the nice thing about, again, we have options. If it doesn't work, yeah, we'll put paint on it, and soften it. That's, same with the eyeball. Little places you got to hit really nice and clean. But that's about it. That's all I'm going to do.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
I was thinking of doing a close-up more of just his face. Am I going to lose too much without that Goldie Hay in there?
Oh, I don't think so. You can, if you want, even, if you want to, bring it in tight, like do a close-up. You still got a little bit of hay there. You could do it that way. Or if you're too close, you can always even this highlight back in here, that could be a hay bale if you needed to. If not,
okay.
If you're cropping into an ear and stuff like that, getting it off center like that, yeah, you don't have to do, you can make it any way you want. That's not going to change it. Even the hay, I wouldn't think about it. I wouldn't say, hey, where's the hay?
Hey, where's the hay?
Hey.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I didn't even know I did that. But hey, that's what we're going with right now. So it's yeah, I can see you doing tighter, and that would work too. I would say, yeah, look at the warms, the changes in the warmth between the nose. It's a dark warm. It's like I said, that's burnt sienna oxide, transparent oxide, with blue. That's this brown right here. That's that whole nose right there. And this is the other oxide. This is oxide red with green or red or blue, really on that side. Lizerans are not going to probably be too heavily in here, but you might be able to get some in here. Look at in these ears, because his ears get kind of a little green. I could see green in that, and I could see going to a lizeran. See, what I'm thinking about is fun colors too. Having fun with this and pushing these colors just a hair more than the photo, for we can, you have fun with the painting. You're taking a chance a little bit. You're not just painting this the normal way it goes, perfectly. If that's, not what we need to do, we can enhance this thing and have some fun. And I think the smoke and the foggish feel, you could just see, strokes, going in here, pushing big brush strokes into that area. That's how simple it is, and just soft, but they got to go in at the end, and maybe you might have to hit them twice to get them to blend to the right value. That's the way things go. It's going to be fun. Going to be exciting, in fact. Real excited. I can tell by your voices you're all very, very excited about this.
Well, I'm excited. I like cows.
We all love cows. Who doesn't love cows? Okay. It's Mother's Day, so we're gonna make sure well, it's tomorrow's Mother's Day for you girls, and we all could use a cow. Okay, there we go. We're having fun.
That was a jump. I don't know how you got there.
I don't either. You just,
Best luck, probe it.
yeah, throw it out there and see what sticks. That didn't stick very well, but we try.
Jim, nobody's asked this question, so I'm going to.
Okay.
The thing on the left.
What is it? It looks like a
Thing on the
There's a
left
Yeah, the thing on the left could be,
could be
and I'm not trying to be funny because I know we often talk about this, but it could be a black rooster.
a rooster in there.
rooster. You see a
It could
rooster?
be. It's sitting.
Oh,
It's
this
sitting
thing
on.
right here.
Yeah, like that's the back end of the rooster. Maybe. I mean, I'm not sure that's what it is. I'm sure it's some other.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
Some
But
kind of animal.
the way it's sort of sitting on that little bump.
I thought
of-
it was a
of
lamb,
straw.
a black lamb, but
Because it doesn't look like another cow.
It doesn't look like a cow.
I don't know what it is, but so the question is, do we paint anything there, or do we just put
I-
more
I
fog?
wasn't going to put anything over there because it would be distracting.
Mhm.
Without exploring it deeper, without being giving the idea of a chicken too much. Anything besides calling it out is probably gonna pull away from the head. But does not mean that you couldn't put it in there as long as you let people know what it is. So you can leave a little question, but if you can do it seems a little big for a
No, I'd
chicken.
make it smaller. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's really just the steam coming off this guy and some other things. Yeah, I think
Okay.
if you
Yeah, we
see
don't need to
way
spend
way
time
up
on it.
here, there's a little dark right above the steam, so I think that's saying that whole section thing's a piece.
Is steam. Yeah, maybe I'll just put a hay bale there instead, I think.
There you go. Yeah, good solution.
Yeah. Okay.
We're okay. Moving on. Since I'm the one running late, we're moving on. It's my fault. Well, so we'll get I'll make it up by painting faster. That's all.
great.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'll make it up we should be painting right now. Sorry about that again. I was just cleaning my palette, cleaning my brushes out. We're gonna go with a regular palette pretty much. This is a titanium white, cad yellow light, cad red light. This is still some medium, cad yellow, deep. As you can see, it got some nice skin on it, and I haven't used it.
Are we using that one? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little brighter sometimes than this orange. Sometimes in that water, you just need a little more kick than the orange here. So, again, this is a pale ochre, yellow pale ochre, oxide red light, alizarin crimson or rose madder deep, your Rembrandt, cobalt blue hue, phthalo green, and a little special thing for you guys today. I was doing this when I was painting that dog yesterday. This week, I switched out transparent oxide for burnt sienna. So this is burnt sienna.
Yay.
And here's some burnt umber over here. And as you can tell, that has a huge skin on it. But you don't have to use those. I mean, the burnt umber, if you have it, great. I mean, it's a natural color. Most people have it. I wasn't calling for it.
Are
Usually,
you going to mix it for this, do you think?
well, if you guys have burnt umber, I'll be happy to, put it in.
For a while, you didn't seem to like for a number. Now you like
Still,
it.
there was a certain color when I was painting that dog in the pool
Mm.
that I needed I just felt like I wanted for the fence.
I like burnt umber.
I like it.
I like it too, but like I say, it's one of those colors that will cause your paintings to dry fast and keep drying. That's how all the masters' paintings cracked. because burnt umber just keeps drying and just sucks the oil out of all the other paints and just keeps drying, and that's why they crack. So, but they are also on canvas. If we were working on canvas panels, they said might, be better off. So, synthetic, got a few synthetics here. These guys will come in handy for, tighter areas again. Bristle brushes, since we have a lot of soft edges in this thing, things like this, I can hear fabulous big strokes like this will be great. I think it's going to be come in handy. And our paint eraser when we do make mistakes. All right. Let me pull up my photo again. I will be set to go. All right. That's a beautiful cow.
He is beautiful.
Yeah, she is. Okay, darks, like you said, trying to get darks in this guy and finding the right ones. I'm going to start off with a little different then. I'm going to start off with some burnt sienna. I'm going to go for that nose. This is burnt sienna, and then this, like I said, not transparent. It is transparent. The burnt sienna is a little transparent. And blue. And this kind of becomes a green, a warm green on when you can see it on the burnt sienna side. You can see a little tinge of green to it. But on the blue side, it just becomes a nice, beautiful, warm dark. We'll see that again when we post the next color next to it. So that I figure can get into this nose. Definitely that color. We're not going to be using much white at all, except for the background and the highlights and the hay. Okay, I say that, and then all of a sudden I start. We're just going to try to keep the amount of colors down, though. I'm going to switch to now phthalo green and alizarin. Like I was talking about, maybe finding it in the ear, stuff like that. Definitely, you're going to find it in a lot of the darks. This is good. Could be a really. It's going to be. It's on the cooler side of the colors. Oops, got some yellow in there. Because I got yellow on top here. Okay. It's on the cooler side of the darks, and it will really enhance the warmth of the reds in the other darks, and really have those guys, do their job. So one side on the alizarin, I might even push the alizarin side, because what you're going to find out is, even though it looks red here, really on the red side, when I put it up there, the greens are going to probably show through a little bit. But we'll see. We'll start there. That's a good one. We're going to do the blue. Do blue with alizarin too. Phthalo and alizarin is very dark, but this blue and alizarin is even darker. When you put it together, that shoots back. That is like this is what I use for pupils, mostly for when I do animals. This color really shoots you in there deep and draws attention. It really can make things really contrasty. So make sure you got one on that really blue side, one on the purple side, the alizarin side. You got a good difference there, because those guys are going to be in that chest area right in here. really holding that area down. The greens and stuff, like I said, will probably come more in the front of the head, which will probably be a little bit more forward. So that will push this back. This will come forward. So you have a nice distance already made up. You got some depth to your painting. All right, so those are my real darks. Now we're going to get to the warm ones with more red in them, and you're going to find that these reds are going to be have a little more warmth to them. So we're going to be going with phthalo green and oxide red. I'm going to have one pretty heavy on the red side. I probably should be making a decent pile. That, because that can get into a lot of this areas, these deeper areas.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
I accidentally put orange ochre in it. Well,
Well, we can use that. We'll use it. We will be using that later.
Do I need to make a new pile?
You can just make a red pile if you want to do ochre, orange.
Well, it was an accident.
That's okay.
Okay.
I would have said that's fine. Let me see. Yeah. Well, I definitely don't need much green. Definitely gonna be on the orange side. But you could get that. That can get in here. Definitely some places.
Okay.
Mine's not ochre, but mine is green. Mine is orange. I just got to push this back a little bit more. That green is always going to show through. Yeah. So I would say that. Okay, good. Like you said, this could end up being in here. I just got to get the green out of it. Okay, just going to leave it there. That's like almost an ochre too. I love that kind of color. Go back with this green up here. One of the colors I've really kind of been liking is Cad Red and Phthalo Green. This might be, that's on the green side, in fact. But on the red side, I know it's going to be all over this. This is a little good. My green from I put down over there, just a little bit of phthalo, and I can get it in this area, these areas, just a little bit more. Because this is basically your mid-tone right here. This reds, any of these reds are going to be the mid-tones for this painting. Okay, we're going to leave that one there. Let me see. Yeah, it's pretty close to what I need there. And this orange here will probably be the final thing. I'm just thinking if I need one more. I'm trying to think. If you guys do have burnt umber, let's see. There's a red in burnt umber, Cad Red, and burnt umber. That's very rich. Like I said, it will dry pretty quickly. Anything you have burnt umber in will be dry probably tonight. Some people like that. But it kind of, one of those colors that just kind of can make everything, dry quick, too quick. that's what I've discovered when I've been working with this stuff for so long. It's like, yeah, some colors you just want to stay away from a little bit. So that would be one. I think that should do it. I mean, I think I got all the eyes, darks in here. I think these guys right in here should do the eyes. The nice thing is you got a nice highlight in that eye, but you don't see a lot of iris. So it's a very dark eye. Okay, we are going to enlighten these colors a little bit. I would say probably we're talking just a minimal amount of white to be added to these colors. For all the darks in this guy. So a little bit of color, but not much. We almost don't even still just on the verge. It's kind of like on the verge of really seeing a blue or a green. Just right on the edge. Some of these browns definitely are going to go. We're going to probably take it up a little bit. And we'll see what these oranges do here too.
What was that orange one again, Jim?
This is just orange and phthalo green. This is because somebody made a mistake and we tried to save them.
Sorry.
Yeah. Hey, that definitely is in the hay. And it definitely could be in the ear. It could be in the highlights. That's the thing. A lot of these colors are pretty good. What color? I was looking. What? Oh yeah. Did I do that? No, I did burn sienna and no, I did burn sienna blue, burn sienna and phthalo green. Forget it. I don't think I'll need it. Just a minimal amount of white. Not trying to. We're just barely trying to lighten it up. Just to be slightly less. And you can start seeing how that just starts to get into this spot really nicely into the nose as a highlight in the nose. So this is just a hair darker than we usually do it. There we go. So a lot of these colors probably won't even feel like they're making a difference. Not much difference. This thing, funny, this color did not move very much. I added white to it, did not move. Really got to add enough white to make it move. Move.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Okay, I'm going to take this red a little bit. This is a phthalo green and oxide red. And I am going to take it up a value. Okay, as you can see, it's probably at 8. And I'm looking at this, right around its nose areas. And that's working pretty well. It means I'll probably have to take that one up, the green side, up a little bit too, to match it. Might even put more red into this color because I think it's a little pale. Yeah, see, that's going to help get around these eyes. In the up top here, definitely you can see that little bit there.
Jim, what was that mix? I'm not
This is
getting that.
oxide red and phthalo green.
And phthalo, okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
and this is where I was saying I was going to take and bring some more red into that mid-tone
Yours is
to get that.
funny looking. Mine is greener, too much.
Too much green. This is on the red side though. This is the green, and if it's green, you know, more red. You're on the red green side, and it's not grayed out enough. You do need to add red to it to gray it. More red to it.
Oh yeah, that goes beige, you know, that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
These guys should work out really well.
Okay, there it goes.
Yes. I'm gonna go the red side. This is cad and phthalo green. As you can see, that just went just a little, needs a little more red into it. And white, and you can get exactly that color. There we go. Now we're moving. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot of warmth, a little more too much. But there's a touch of green in that. All right. Let's see what these oranges do. These might end up being our nice highlight colors in the ears. Or these guys are. One of those two are probably going to work. Or this stuff too. See, you can see, oh, definitely hay color. Or in the hay area. Definitely there. Definitely find a place for it. Oops, that's way too much white. Going to be a highlight now. Yeah, so you can see it could be on the red, needs to be on the red side. All right. Not green enough. These two are too close together. No difference. So if it doesn't have any difference, won't make any difference when I get here either. So that's why I wanted to. Definitely not going to get there, but I might be able to use it in hay areas. The reds. Now this is interesting colors. Burnt umber and cad red. Almost becomes a burnt sienna. It gets a few spots here in the eyes and in the nose. That's on the red side. So I will probably make a little bit of decent pile of it. This value should not, right around 5, 4-ish, in between 4 and 5.
Whoa. Bringing those way up. Okay.
Yeah, they just, well, it looks like I take it way up, but these guys are still 5s. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much, you know, a lot of the cow colors except for the highlights. We're going to have to find the highlights yet. But what we're going to do now is start getting the smoke in here. You're going to find all that, you know, from these cool, anything with alizarin in it, and sometimes with the oxide greens over here. This guy, these guys should make, I mean, that's the burnt sienna and the blue will probably also do it. This color too. Let's take a couple of other ones. I don't think, but I do need those guys taken up too. But I'm going to take these guys right here. I'm thinking these guys are going to be the highlights on the cow. So the highlights on the cow, as you can tell, I am pretty dark. You know, I got the dark. It's got to go up to probably 3. So I got some white to add to these guys. Oop. I just added it to the big pile. No, just off today. I don't know why. Just and a nice hair in here, dog hair in here. Get on here. Value. It's close, pretty close. That'll be close enough for government work. Okay, but that feels cool. As you can see, these good colors here almost look like burnt sienna. A little bit more like the burnt umber and cad red too.
You just put more white in it?
Yeah, I'm just putting more white into it and trying to get it up to value now. Up to about a 3. Right now it's at 4. Yeah, pretty close. Getting a lot of the same spots, just not getting the yellow. So that means I'm going to have to add probably some cad yellow into this mix. Or, let's see. No, let's just get the coolness on these guys. These guys are going to have about that same amount of white added to them as I just did with those guys. This is alizarin in blue. As you can see how cool that is. You might be able to find some spots for it. It's gonna probably it's not light colors and like this. It's not gonna have a lot of strength to it. So it could change in here. I mean, over colors when you throw it over other colors and stuff. This could change, fall back a little bit to its right spot. I'm pushing the blue on this side because now I can see the red in that. I can't like to make this sure that this is a separate color. Because when you put blue in it, yeah, you get pretty doggone close to what we need.
This is your fog color, yeah?
Could be fog color. It could be the background back here. As you can see, it's alizarin in blue. And blue side hits really well.
Mm.
I'm going to push the blue just a hair more just because I'd like to have some color. There we go. And separate. That way I can use both these two together interchangeable. This will lighten this up. And this will add color to that. If, when they get there. But I think you'll find also that these phthalo green and alizarin are going to be really close to that color too. And that'll be your highlights. One of these guys, this could definitely end up being, more what we use down in here. In the smoke, overlapping with the cow.
Sorry, Jim, what color is that you're doing?
These are phthalo green and alizarin. These two. This is alizarin. This is the green. Looks like I got a little yellow in here too. Just somehow got in there. And then down here, these are burnt sienna and phthalo green, or burnt sienna and blue. And that's a weak color. Just didn't do anything. You put white into it. Where those guys stood up pretty well. This guy just said, rolled over. Didn't do anything. Burnt sienna side, maybe I added too much white, but warmth, you might find that down in here. The warmer sides, you know, it's always one of the things when I'm painting.
Yuck. Picked
One
up,
of the things when I'm painting this guy is the warm side, cool side effect. I don't want to put the same temperature of paint here that I'm putting over here. I definitely, you can see the warmth on this side, coolness on that side. Definitely want to have two separate sides. So warm side down in here, warm colors, cool colors up there. So definitely we'll have a nice mix. Values should go nicely. There we go. That's beautiful. It's on the red side. That's Ox. Okay. One color I just didn't get. Let me see if I can get it. Just a touch of yellow. Cad yellow in my reddish color here. There. Oh, well, the red has to come through. Maybe now, or if I take that down, some white. There, you got the orange. There you go. I wasn't getting this orange. As you can see, I was getting coolness, but I wasn't getting the right orange, and that's too bright. So it just means more color, less white. Now you get it up there to about that. No, definitely works. Good.
well, how'd you get that now?
I have no idea. God, I got a bunch of, all of a sudden I got all these hairs in my painting.
Doggy hairs.
Doggy hairs, yeah. That is this color. This is Cad Red and Phthalo Green, right? Right down here with just a touch of white. I brought it over here and added Cad Yellow to it. And then I added some more Cad Red to it. So it warmed it up and made it more of an orange. You might even probably could go with Cad Red, Cad Orange and just some white. You'd probably get to a richer value of that too. So, you know, just throwing it out there, and then I just added white to it. So this was just Cad Orange and white. So I'll go through these colors. Hopefully we can mix them up. I don't know. I started off with burnt sienna and blue and added white just to 9, value about 9. It's hard to tell with this thing, but barely any white. And then we took them over here and we added white to about, I was going for 3s and sometimes you hit 2s. And then over here we went with phthalo green and alizarin, green side, red side, and brought them over here with more white. Then we took blue and alizarin, blue side, red side, brought them over here, blue, red side, blue side. Up here we have phthalo green and oxide red, really pushing the red side. Bringing it down, you can just see what happens. The green just starts to show up. I had to put a lot more red into that one. Here we have phthalo green and Cad Red. Warmer, trying to keep it rich colors. Bringing it down. With white, this one we did take it down closer to some highlight colors we might be able to use it in. Here we have Cad Orange and phthalo green. This one's probably could just go a little bit more too close to that one. And we brought them down. You can just see, and they could get in the hay. You might, they're going to be in here, but there's also going to be some reds and oranges in there too. Then we went with burnt sienna. No, this is burnt umber and Cad Red. Bring it down. It makes some nice, really beautiful colors. So don't mind using it. Just like I said, it's a drying thing. Bringing them over here, you can see what happens. I think, no, I didn't bring them over here. I just left them there. I didn't really take them any further. I did take a piece of this phthalo green and cad red, and bring it over here and put some cad yellow to it and got this kind of orange. And I add some more red to it, a little touch more red. And I add white to it. And that's really pretty close to these highlights. But then I said we could probably make that same color if you did choose cad orange and white. And yeah, pretty much does. So simplified, you can do that. You know, that's okay. It's still complicated. We're going to be painting over a lot of different colors. So yeah, and sometimes you're going to need this. You might need that strength to really make it pop. So let me set up. Any questions?
Nope.
That's the way it goes. That's what you like. That's the way it's done. Oh, well. Let me get this camera rolling. And bring this guy in. There we go. Drop that down a little bit. I guess, sorry, I gotta get my foot in here. I gotta turn this. There we go. Oh. All right. Color wise, the background's very cool, more cool than warm. So I'm going to go with the Oxide Red Light as my red, as my tinting color. I just feel like that definitely going to get in the cow, right? Going to help with the highlights in the cow, but it will also.
So burnt sienna.
Yeah, you can do burnt sienna. I'm just thinking burnt sienna is probably going to gray out some of the purples a little bit. You just have to load up a little bit, probably more on the purples, I think.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. I got lots of purple. Too much purple.
That's okay. You should have this thing painted by now. But get going.
So what color are you using, Jim?
I'm going to use Oxide Red Light. Why? What color you use?
I'm using what you're using. I'm trying to behave.
Thank you. Don't be a Kim. Don't be a Kim. She's going, she goes her own
I
way.
don't have oxide red light. I'm not trying
How
to
can you not
misbehave.
have Oxide Red Light?
Because I've got burnt sienna.
Okay. Well, but this isn't burnt sienna.
I know.
It's a red.
I might buy it.
Transparent Oxide Red. That is exactly burnt sienna.
It's too confusing like this.
Yeah, I know. And this is definitely the red. So yeah, burnt sienna is fine. Burnt sienna would probably be fine here. Definitely would probably, would probably help the hay a little bit more than this will. Okay, the sky up here. Just keeping it. I am also working on a different kind of the panel. Again, I'm trying those central somebody panels from Jerry's. They're a little cheaper than the linen, and they're acting a lot like it. So I don't mind them. They come in nice 3-pack. The thing what I really like about them is the stiffness. These guys are really on these MDF boards, where the other ones are more on cardboard, and they just seem to a little saggy.
So sorry, what are these called? What's the brand name or whatever?
Central somebody.
Central somebody.
Send it, girl. Let me see. God, gotta get one. I can't pull that one off. I've only bought a few of them, so I got to dig in my piles here and see if I have it. Jumping out at me. Not here. There. See, they look like this.
And why? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, they're
Turn it over again.
New
Jeff.
York Central. They're called New York Central. Sorry.
Thank you.
New York Central, not
That's us.
New York Central. That's exactly. You can get that in there, London, very easily. You should have no problems.
I don't know.
It
So
has,
why do you like working on canvas, Jim? I mean, like a regular canvas, a stretch canvas.
they do have them in that, I think, too.
You
I
don't
know.
like them?
You are still stretching, right? You're still using stretch canvases.
That's what I got right now. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got to order
Okay.
some more, but I mean, I like them.
yeah.
I like the bounce of it. It's just what I'm used to, I guess.
It's okay.
You don't like them though.
No. I use panels just for space.
Well,
I
also, I'm sure it's much easier to ship the panels than it is the canvas
Yeah,
without damage. Yeah.
yeah. I have no space for canvases. I mean, unless they're huge, or else, I'm a bull in a china shop. I'll just step on it, and
You
I
can-
cause so much more work for myself. So that's
Do you
why.
never get any pushback from your galleries that people want canvas?
No, they never
Interesting.
see it. I mean,
Because it's already framed,
it's already framed up on the wall.
Okay.
They don't really think about it.
right?
And when you're a big award winner, everybody just believes you.
Yeah, no, nobody gives you any pushback.
They don't. But if you do, you find out right away. And it's not that big a deal. It's really not that big a deal. My bigger paintings do have to be on canvas because these panels only go up to about 30 inches. So I don't really paint too much bigger than that. I try not to paint too big. So I want the ear probably about at least an inch and a half, probably outside here, an inch and a half. At least start there. Head wise, right, a couple inches underneath to a little bit over half. So a little bit, here's half, a little bit after it, right in here. And then you got the thing about halfway down to about a quarter. Just always thinking about breaking these things up. And then legs here. Just a nice little W for legs. See, simple things. Come up in shoulders. And this comes down to about here. And those ears are huge. Those ears are huge. So, and then go up. So, keep trying to keep it in my spot. I'm going to have to move that head back a little bit. I am going to be probably more right here down the middle. What's that?
Sorry, I'm talking to myself. I'm muting myself.
It's okay.
I'm like too.
Just your speaking is such a nice, simple voice. So I just figure you were talking to me. I'm kind of finding his eyes are right at the bottom of his ears, about where the bottom of the ear hits. So, and if I have, so I'm basing the whole painting off one ear. That's brilliant. Now I'm gonna split it down again a little bit. I think it's a little wider. So this head's gonna come over here a little bit wider. Yeah, I should trace this out. I mean, you know, sketched it out a little bit better. I figured this is just a cow's head. How tough can it be, right? How tough can it be? I'm gonna find out that mouth is gonna come all the way down in here now too. So eyeballs there, and that means this one pretty much same thing. Definitely they have a nice tilt to them. You know, like you said, the ears, definitely, yeah, when I start to do it, I'm going to be a little short on this side. So it's, if I'm, and I move this thing over, shoot. Okay, I'm just going to squish the head a little bit. I'll lose some body, but I'm not going to. Almost right. It feels like it is right about here. So bad. Now, these two got to be the same height. This one's too high. Maybe this ear's just too big. Yeah. Get over in front of it for a second. A lot of arcs still going on. So if you drop a line, you know, from that eye straight down, you're going to catch the corner of, it's going to line up with the corner of its mouth down in here. So on this side, if you dropped it, it would be on the outside. So that's one of the things they were talking about. The old time painters did, like John Singer Sargent, had a plumb line. You ever hear about that? They used to use a plumb line. You know, you just drop a string with a little weight on it, and you get a straight line, you know, horizontal line or vertical line, and you could put that up to your things, and you could see, measure by you know, how things, you know,
Still
what
happens.
still happens. Does it? You do it?
Yeah. Well, I've been taking a life drawing class and we have a plumb line every single week.
Do you? Hi. Where are you taking it now?
Actually it's at the Royal Academy.
Yeah, I knew it. Nothing but the best. That's cool. So yeah. Yeah. That's, they always say you could drop a line on it. It does help. It does, you know. So that's why I look for a lot of times how things line up.
So the one on the right side goes to the corner,
Yeah, of this eye,
the other side,
and then
go
this side goes to the inside corner,
to,
inside corner. Yeah,
and that goes to the outside of his mouth or that muzzle
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
And what about the other side? What does he do? He goes to the
To the
inside.
outside, so just the opposite. So it should come out, come out to there. If I drop the line there and drop a line here, that's where they hit.
Oh, you mean the outside of his eye goes to the outside of on the left on my left hand side. Yeah, that eye where that hits to the muzzle. I'm confused on that one. How does that work again? Don't laugh at me. I can see you laughing.
I'm not laughing. I'm just going. No, if you put a here, these two, the corner
Oh,
back,
okay. The outside the eye
and
goes.
then that outside of the eye goes to that part of the nose, just because it's tilted a little bit, and then this one ends up being with that corner of the eye.
Okay.
So just like this, just like that, and pretty much like that. That's all I'm looking at. That's all I ever look at.
Okay, thank you.
And then I can really start to judge where things go. Definitely. Fuck. Sorry. Did not, like I laid it out by the ear, and and just everything just did not get the exactly what I wanted here. So just say that. So everything is going to have to move back here a little bit. I'm not going to redraw it that much. And it's going to be a lot foggier. When you do make mistakes like this, find the right answer. The right answer is there somewhere. And
The right answer is more fog.
more fog to cover it all off. Use the fog to your advantage.
Picture of fog.
Right? So you don't have to be, hey, I could have moved this head up just a hair more too, and I'll be. Oh, now it's just slightly over this way. I think, which is now the head's just perfectly in the center of the painting, which is a no-no. I mean, which should be a no-no. But we're going to go with it, and because of class would be over.
Can I tell you what I see from here?
What?
Well, if you're looking at the painting, your left ear is too low and too big. And so if you moved his looking at the painting, the left side of his face over, you would be better.
Oh, this is too big?
It's too big, but leave it. Just move, just shift his eyes and his face to your left. Yeah.
Okay.
And then his face won't be in the middle of the painting.
That's brilliant.
You could shift it even more over and it would be fine. Yeah. There you go.
Okay, well, let's bring it over. Okay.
Now you're getting it. Yeah.
I know.
Because you're painting from an angle. It's so difficult. I can see. Yeah.
Yeah, because it comes over this way a lot more,
right,
in my painting. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so we're going to slide everything over a little bit, and then we'll catch it all in the finish.
In the finish.
Yeah. In the finish. That's what we tell them. We'll catch it in the finish. Eyeballs are probably gonna keep them eyeballs there, and we're gonna move this back over. Yeah. Thanks, Kim. Okay. Yeah, a little better. I probably can get rid of some of this here.
No, that's much better.
Yeah.
That's much better.
Okay. Everything gets slid over here. So, okay. Well, now that no one can understand what the heck I'm doing, I like it like that. I like it. That's when everything feels more magic. Anyway. Okay. Well, I forgot to turn my last camera on. Okay. Well, here we go. Ready or not, here we come. So, colors. Definitely we'll start off with our darkest color. I did do a little that burnt umber and blue together first. The burnt umber side would definitely be the bottom part of his nose or his snout here, his nose area here. The warm going into here, and then when you transition to the fleshier part right in here, definitely it's going to go on the blue side. You can see
I'm sorry. Was that the first? I had to leave for a second.
No way. I can't tell you.
Sorry.
You gotta. You're gonna have to wait till next week. No.
It's all downhill.
No, it's burnt umber and burnt sienna. I'm sorry, burnt sienna and blue was the number. Burnt sienna blue were our first two colors. I was putting the brown. I've seen the brown down closer to his lips and just getting up to his nose, and then from there to this middle of his nose, pretty much the fleshy part of his nose, is really has a blue side to it, and especially when it gets up top. I think I'm just going to paint it dark for now, and then let the I got to slide everything over. So this one's not going to go anywhere. This one's going to go back over a little bit. Sorry. Yeah, we had a little bit of a drawing problem on this one. So we have this warmth there, the brown's just underneath it, just for the lips. You might even take that into some of the drawing part of the lips here coming out. One of the things is when you're doing these things, you're always still redrawing. You're redrawing constantly when you're painting. Reworking my shapes. I'm going to look, like I said, I think his head's a little bit warmer. And so this is oxide red. It's not oxide red. It's burnt sienna and blue. And this is on the burnt sienna side right here. And I'm putting it here. I figure this side of his nose definitely has more red into it. So I'm not putting much there. But the red in the burnt sienna is going to jump forward a little bit more. The warmth and the red will come forward. On this side of his face, though, and his eyeball here, definitely go on the blue side. I mean, this is thin too. This is thin colors too. This is not like full blast colors, but definitely on the blue side. On this shadow area back here behind his nose, on his face here. And just above it, there's just right into here. But then the nose from the snout comes in. And then the split in the head, right here, his forehead. You got that split. You got the a little more warmth on this side. And the shadow over here, really strong, coming into, the eyes. So I'm going to put the blue side there. I'm like up just for the darks, just starting to, settle this in. And looking at this shape too. That shape right there. It's not, definitely it's a map of Illinois right there. That's what that is. But if you don't know your maps, United States maps anymore, hey. And then you do the hair, just a little bit of the hair. I want to keep it loosey goosey here at this time. At the point, I want to lock myself into, that's exactly where the hair is going to go and where this is going to go, because of, things are going to move. It's going to move a little bit. So this comes into his eyebrow, right above his eye, right here. His eye's going to be right here. I'm just going to mark it too. I'm going to go switch to alizarin and blue just to put in his eyeballs. More on the alizarin side. I switched just because I want to put in this dark right next for it. You guys find it. You want to put this in for the nostrils too? That'd be great. They don't show up. This is the red. Doesn't really show up too much yet. Works on that side, doesn't work on this side. This side probably going to go to the blue side, the purples. Oh, no wonder it didn't work. Yeah, I'm in the phthalo green. Sorry. Well, that was phthalo green and alizarin. That's why it didn't show up. Here's alizarin and blue. This is what I meant about the darkness just being a little bit darker in those. Now, you can't tell. You guys can't tell there, but I can tell. So that would have been just a hair darker. Okay. Good. We are moving along here now. We got eyeballs in. We even got a nose placed. Back to the burnt sienna and blue here. Right underneath this eye, into this area here, there's this patch of skin, that would be probably going to have a lot of that in it.
Dark?
Little darks in it. Yeah, dark. Good call. Yeah. Some people call them darks. Yes. So just look for structure, shadows, things like things really going in here. Okay. I'm gonna go switch to the next colors. Well, shoot, I could probably find some other spots for these. Definitely down in here. Excuse me. Blue and into the hay here, and just start to get some of this dark in there. We'll see. I will steer the pooch on this one, drawing it out. One of those days. I thought this was going to be an easy one.
Always say that, then.
I do. This is blue. Okay, I'm going to switch to phthalo green and alizarin here. This is on the alizarin side, or green side. And no white, of course, no white. Pretty much no white in this painting. Definitely, I kept saying, this is where I wanted to really have some fun and put this color in here, into his ears. I think it's going to, add a lot to the painting. I got to get this up a little bit more.
Is that the green side? Yeah.
This is this is the green side. That is the green side. And I painted it almost to the tip. And then I'm going to leave a space for the for the highlights and the other things that start to come in right in here, I'm just going to just come in from behind here and put a little bit of this green on top of his chest, lining it up a little bit up there. Okay, go to the red side, alizarin side. Definitely hit the final parts of this ear. Start to at least get some of this red to show through the tip, the outside tip, and just into the middle of the ear a little bit, push that back. Definitely this one over here is going to have a little bit of steam in it, but that should uncover the red that's laying underneath here. So that's what I'm thinking there. And just have the two come together. That should be fun. That should be fun. Definitely you might be able to come back into the bottom nose. Some of these darker areas, I see some little richness right in here. Sometimes it's just a little bit of red right in that bottom part underneath the nostril skin and in right above the mouth. Just a little bit of that alizarin and phthalo green on the alizarin side. Right in here, really nice dark. Shoots it back, kind of takes the tip of the mouth and takes that red, will bring it back a little bit. We're just going to bring out the mouth bottom part here. That little hump. We'll hump it in its mouth. We'll see. We'll see if that stays. Ears look good. Okay. The red side, definitely full strength from the bottom of the ear down here almost to where the neck is. And right before you could bring that in, lay that in heavy right in here, really dark. That might have to go a little bit of alizarin blue too, but get this warmth. This has a little bit more warmth than the alizarin and blue side, so it can go closer to the neck. Basically, it's just gonna, be a better transition. Just that little bit of warmth to the other red that was going to go in here, the warm reds. So this is making a transition, basically shooting the shadow in here, and then we'll have the more opaque color come in at the end and really fill that area in. So this is alizarin and phthalo green. I have the green up here, but I have alizarin coming in more down in here parts. Even in here, we have the smoke coming in right in here. So even when you're thinking about that, just little disturbances in the paint and in the way you handle laying it in sometimes can help when you do get to that point, when you start putting in the smoke and things like that. Distance here. I am pretty close enough to this. Gonna probably lose most of this back leg. This leg over here, this leg's just kind of goes off the side just a little bit more than I want, but hey, don't you guys let it happen. I can cheat it in. I'll get it in there somehow. Just don't want to spend a lot of time doing it and having you guys make fun of me. All right, I'm switching now. I'm just moving on to the blue and the alizarin. Blue side, definitely blue side. Definitely right here in this area here. Definitely, I could see the blue just really just sucks you back a little bit. One thing about that is, you know, I mention this all the time, just gonna keep hitting it no matter what. You know, it's a kind of broken record. Even when you've got a big cool section like this, what makes it work harder, or makes it work be cooler than it is to put a warm dark, uh, right in the middle of it. So by putting a cooler, this is just oxide and phthalo green. So I'm putting a little spot right in the middle of my dark blue purple. And what that does, just takes you back. It shoots you farther back in the dark areas. I could definitely use a little more paint. Just wanted to hastily show you that. Make sure you guys are getting that. Okay, alizarin. Now this is alizarin and blue. Now I'm gonna hit a few spots again. There one right down in here. I kind of feel it's really good for that. Kind of has a little bit of depth in that neck right there. Little washy yet. Getting a little washy. But that's, dark is as light as it's going to go. Everything is really not too much more going to go in these guys. Maybe this comes over a little bit too. Okay. It's a little darker up here. All right. I'm going to switch over, and this is going to be phthalo green and oxide red. Feels like I'm going to put a little more piece of this, put a little more green in it. I think red just kind of overtook it a little bit. This is the green side. And I'm seeing it in above the eye and below the eye, maybe even in the eyelid. And when I do that, I can see more off drawing wise a little bit. I'll try it on this side, the same thing. You said above the eye there, and I could see there's a little right around the eyelid or the tear duct, a little bit, and then around to the back of the eye. Okay. Go with the reds. I did do a red side, but this is like I said, I just put more green into it. This would probably be more of an even mix of those two colors. So it's not totally on the red side, it's just a little bit on the green side. It's probably just a little dark, but I think it's going to lighten up. Won't take much to lighten it up. Okay, so yeah, these colors are going to definitely be in this face here a lot more. And his brow area. Let me see, just a little bit more on the red side. It's funny. It's really green on that side, then it's red on this side. There's a patch of red right here. And then the red's on the outside of this shape a little bit into where the highlight's going to end up being going. I think the head goes up just a hair higher. It starts to, a lot of times, even when I'm drawing like these things, a shape looks different when it's not, colored in. So you can start seeing what that shape has to do, where it has to go. So that shape just changes a little bit. When it has to feel more 3D than than in your drawing. So Kim, since you're there, are you going to try out for that Landscapers of the Year painting things or
No,
Portrait Artist of the Year?
no, I'm not very good yet.
Okay. Well,
So I'm not putting myself out into anything.
you never know. Hey,
You never know, but you sort of do.
Yeah. Well, I just see those guys and you go, some of them are very, very good, and then some of them they're pretty bad. So
Yeah. Well, it's like also, a taste thing.
it is. It is. I mean, you hear, the judges on that show, and you just totally don't disagree with them. Yeah. So, but I think they're also looking at a show that this show is also, for everybody else out there, if you're interested in art shows, this is like it's a competition where they have like rounds and rounds of people coming in and painting famous celebrities. It's called Portrait Artist of the Year. It's on, if you have, what is it? Just Amazon Prime. You can find it on there.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. They only have so many seasons though, but you get the gist of it pretty much. Just with one season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the first season probably might have been their best too. I really this Hook guy, John Hook, pretty amazing. Okay. I'm working with phthalo green and oxide red light. Definitely into this nose. You can see on that side, it's darker, going to be a little darker, a little more on the green side. Red, more reddish in the middle. you know, and then it's going to go a little bit brighter red right in that line where I left that area open. Then down by the nose here, it's going to come in. Might have to darken some things in yet, but I can see areas I'd love to put some purple in, you know, especially like, you know, when you start to look at adjustments to make, and when you're in this value of darkness, you know, you can really start to see, you know, things that have to go darker. But sometimes you can't tell till you get going that certain areas need to be darker and they could be a little lighter. This nose could need to come up on that side a little bit and here. And anyway, so when you put in that red there, that's really starts to tell me a lot of colors. But oxide red, phthalo green, pretty much, I think that's, you know, the key colors this painting, when especially the head here, you know, these colors really interesting. And I tell you, that's what I find is these two colors pretty much paint anything. I'm gonna come down and do a little bit more on the red side down in here, a little heavier on the red. Definitely, I could probably start to get a lot of the shape of his face here coming in. Goes back just a little bit, probably a little bit better angle than that, slightly bit. And goes back towards the ear, and then cuts back into the ear. And kind of gets. This is probably the dark side. There is going to be a little bit more reddish coming in here, but that area here needs to be darker, and I don't have enough paint. So I did not mix up enough alizarin and blue. So I thinned it out so much that I didn't get paint in that area. I mean, it feels a little too washy. So I'm going to bring it back in alizarin and blue. I need the really dark stuff. I don't need the light stuff. You know, just with a touch of white in it, it's just not going to be there yet. So alizarin, I just want to lay this in at least more opacely. Yeah, much more like that. Because that really makes this, helps this area here, makes that stand out. I mean, those ears, you can just see how the dark those guys out, they just jump out at you. But I need this area here to sit back, but it just needs to, still needs to paint. It's just too thin. And usually when I'm painting these guys, I'm not looking to paint my darks heavily. So there are still going to be strokes, and this is like, this paint is you know, transparent anyway. So it is a little bit harder to paint thick. But you're definitely going to get strokes. Definitely going to get your own strokes in there. This is where I'm going to bring the blue side back in. Almost pure blue I'm going to be using now. Trying to get that dark in this area here. Okay. Now I feel better. Oh, now it feels better. Okay. Everything else is pretty good. All right. Now I got my some darks in here underneath there. Did not, get much for legs and stuff in here. So we're gonna, those are slightly warmer anyway. So okay, now I'm gonna go back to the oxide red and phthalo green, finish up that on the red side. Start to come into this leg here, outside here. Slightly work it into the purple I put in there a little bit. And then work it up. I'll look up top here. I know right in here, we're going to have a lot of smoke coming in. But this oxide red is going to start getting up here to the tip of his back. Gets a little heavy there, just a little heavy, but then there's like a wrinkle, in his, from his shoulder right up here. Probably his shoulders probably should be back here now, but we're cheating it up a little bit. Cheating up with everything because, teacher cannot draw today. So I'm just bringing it up here and softening it in. There's going to be a lot of highlights in there, but still, I think there's a little bit of softening that needs to be done transition wise. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to be switching over. Let me see. Did I do everything? No, I still got some reds to put in yet. The oxide red, more on the red side, pretty much all on the red side. You can start seeing it around his nose here. Looks like I made his nose really way too small. I think that, well, I didn't do the top of his nose. I probably should have gotten this area right here back to here. Yeah. So yeah, everything, let's go back a little bit farther. This come up around there. There's this mouth right here. This line has to come up around his nostril onto this side. Just knew it was short. Or this side, I think I'm short on the nose here on this side. So I might come back and add a little bit more to this nose, move that nostril over a little bit. But I like the way, look, the reds, how dark those are. That's really, even in the darks, what that does. So you really knowing your difference between what they're going to do visually helps make those, gives you a little bit more dimension to your painting. It's not so flat. Alizarin into the nostril. I got to move it over here a little bit. And this one probably comes over just a hair too. Okay, can't tell. I can tell. All right. And oxide red comes in. And phthalo green again. We have not gotten away from that. Definitely on right here is a little transition between the really quick transition between the dark and the highlight. And usually I always find those in the reds. They're definitely going to be a nice red right on that out edge. Right in here. There's always going to be a little bit of warmth we can find with that oxide red. It's his mouth.
Transitions to the light. Definitely got to did that one up there. Definitely up near the top there.
CAD red would be perfect probably for it.
But on these edges, or these edges up here around the ears, just that little bit of red to the outsides softens that area. You can soften that area with that. I'm also going to soften this dark on the outsides, pushing it in a little bit just to start my transition to the light. It's just CAD red, phthalo green.
No, that was oxide red and phthalo green. So oxide red, phthalo green.
Really good, real close together. Okay.
Then we're going to switch to phthalo green and oxide and CAD red. I'm hoping, was planning on this color being basically my highlight in these this dark cow. So here's the highlight color. Just going in here, see how it goes into this area. It's fine. It's really good. It's value wise is right. Just doesn't have enough red in it. Just on a little bit, the green has tinted it a little orangey, made it a little orangey. So I will probably come back and push the red back into this area here. But otherwise, in a lot of these other areas, yeah, the highlights in the neck here, you can call them highlights, just little markings, just that. Just that's all you get for it. Be nice to put those in with a bristle brush too. But I did not switch to the bristle brush. Up here to the top of his back, definitely some CAD red. It's the CAD red side. Goes in. And usually, like I said, CAD red's going to be the color I love to put around these ears. I'll be putting that around the ears and finding it up here on this, his hair top here. So, like I said, just going to add some more CAD red to the color. Pretty much pure CAD red, but it's going to be mixed in with my brush. So I'm just mixing it in. So it's red, but it's not going to be, it's going to have that little tinge of whatever colors is on there. So it's a little stronger, but right around here coming into that goes back there. Sorry, that one comes down around there. So that is off. Comes up to about more the eyebrow. Starts that light. Okay. Little spots on the outside. And like I said, definitely last little things around the ears and things like that before we get into any lightening of paint with white. Make sure we did it all with red. Much as we can, right in there. So you can that right in here. Almost pure CAD red. Right on the edge of the light here. Now I'm just gonna work it in a little bit. Still don't want to lose that red.
keep this. Okay. So that's pushing the CAD red. Looks like I pushed it, which is good. At this point, I mean, yeah. When I put the highlights in, this, all this stuff goes away. So I just want to make sure I have it in everywhere I needed it. I like it a lot. Just go. Just a little CAD red medium if you have it. I'll ask for CAD red medium too the next time I do these things. Put that in, help put that in the tip of the ear. Definitely CAD red medium. Right in the, underneath those eyes. All right, now I am going to switch to a bristle brush for putting in the light into the face. It's just a nice, nice size one here. Just soften a few areas out. So don't have too much of a transition. There we go. Yes, yes. Okay. All right. We're just going to go down to the next row of colors, which have just a little bit, just a touch of white in them. They're not even eighths, probably values. This is a ox brown, burnt sienna, and blue with white, just a hair white, just a hair white. I was looking at this spot right above the eyebrow or underneath the eyebrow into the eye here. Just a hair of that color. Really close, really close. Might take it just a hair more white, but not much. And it comes straight down above the eye and over. That's all it is. That's, and then it's pretty much the eyelid too. Color, just on the outside, not even to the whole eyelid. It just gets this outside right there. I should have lost my dark there a little bit. And then underneath, I think it's the blue side. So it's just basically brown on one side, more blue on the bottom. Right in here.
What color is that, Jim?
This is blue and burnt sienna. Blue and burnt sienna, just a hair of white in it. Just a hair of white. I found just a little bit of burnt sienna side, the burnt sienna side above the eye, and the blue side underneath it, into this area here, coming in. Over here, definitely. Well, I don't think it's these colors, but definitely can get in there. Definitely can be in the hair. Up here, everything is going to get less and less now as we go. So we can have to be a little more precise a little bit here and there. Okay. This is the phthalo green and alizarin. Again, now I'm going to come back in and just hit these ears where I was saying I liked it. Push it in, these coming in hard. It almost wraps around the inside of the ear. This just a touch of that phthalo showing through. This might even, well, might get in around the eye here. Just a little bit more. And then right here, this corner of the ear. Get it in there. I'm going to also put it in the front tip of the nose here. Right up here. Just put a little bit of that color. And oh, it looks like it might, gosh. That might be the lining of the nostril color here too. Just a touch more white into that color. Just a hair more. And what I mean lining, I mean the outside line around the nose, the nostril here. That side. Now that it's dirty, I can come over here and do this side. And it works. We'll leave it like that. That's for fun. Also, there's just, if you right at the edge of the skin of the nose here, there is just a hair of light. And the chiaroscuro light makes that, gives you the underneath. Tells you that this thing is three-dimensional, that there is just a hair of light going back. So always, if you see that, if you can put it in, it's just a scratch. It's not like a whole big thing. All right, that should get me to about that part. Let me get the highlights in, and we'll throw in the background and try to get some things in. We've got a little bit of green left. I don't think this, look at this purple. I think this purple, this is alizarin with just a hair, and phthalo green with just a little bit of white in it. It's going to be like the very beginning or insides of the smoke or the steam coming through. That's where I'm going to use it there. If you this one shape over here, it could be a chicken, could be, I think it's probably just the shape of another bull or cow back in here, usually right in here. It's a little bit on the gray side. Go to alizarin and blue. Area to the yeah, those are cows back there. You know that light, that little white line there? That's a white cow. That's a brown cow in front of it. Then there's a blue cow, and there's another brown cow in here. So that's what those are. This is just really is just another back of a cow, leg coming in through here, something like that, and just you lose. Now I can see it. I can see it on my screen where I couldn't see it. So blue is a little brown, and then that's little line that's left would be white. That's as much as you have to draw them in. Finish that thing. Got that. What? What is he doing?
Sorry. Stop. I'm muting.
Sorry. He's crazy. He doesn't know what he's doing again. Yes, he's making things up. Quit making things up. I am switching over to this is a green and oxide red, phthalo green and oxide red light with white, and definitely on the green side, I think it's going to be really close to these, skin colors of the eyelid. I think I might have to go just a hair lighter though. The eyelid, just the green side too. Yeah. Then the highlight will go up there. So I'll try it over here. I'm just going to lighten these guys up one more spot. I just feel like pretty close. You just red side will go for the eyelid or tear duct area here. Close. That is close. Maybe just a touch more red into it, but that's, that tear duct. Definitely on this side gets probably a little more red shows some color. Should be on the cad red side of it. Right in here. Gonna have to probably put back that eyeball a little bit back in a little bit. I kind of sometimes, you got to put a stroke in aggressively. You got to, make it count. So sometimes that happens. He just takes over. I did go back in. This is some cad red medium color. My cad red is very orangey. Their red is very orangey. So cad red light is. So their medium is probably more closer to what everybody else has for a red. light. So that's what I found. So I would say you don't have to change yours unless you're using Rembrandt colors. So kind of missed this whole spot here. Right in here, missed this. Okay. That gets taken away. Okay. Drawing from again from an angle, it's just a little weird. Pretty good. That's I never did any of these warmer browns either. We made up. Not gonna jump ahead. Just gonna work the highlights in the side face here. Cad red, phthalo greens we're in. And when you get down in here in the neck, they barely are going to be coming through. There's only really little highlights areas they're going to come in. Back here by the ear, though, where they going to get a separation between almost the eye and the ear right in there. That can go a lot lighter. And that's where I'm saying that Cad red just kind of decides to go a little too pale for me. That's where I would like to come back in with the Cad red and Cad yellow mix right in here, a little lighter, right in that area. So coming down the face here, definitely right underneath the eye, there's a cheek, the cheek area comes out through. That's where I want to put my brush down first. I want to put it down right in here and just make a little mark. Almost just a touch more red in that. Touch more red, Cad red into that. Right down there. And I'll come back down in here. Just work around the outsides here. That. Okay. See orange over there. So this is just Cad orange and white. Coming in the neck, just as like just that hairs in the chin of the from the jaw here to about the line in the jaw to the to the snout. This color is just gonna pretty much is it. Really close to the highlight color. There's just one right in there left spot. I'm leaving for the very highlight color. I just need that one to be there. I can also start going around his ear. That's and into his back if you want to hit his back. At this point, this is really good because I can transition to this color will transition into the back color just naturally because of the dirtiness of the brush. So you don't have to really keep mixing paint all the time and grabbing paint. These guys come up, the highlights come up just a little bit more, bigger. Feels like, and then back of the brush color. There we go. There we go. This is probably going to be the highlight. Well, let me see this. This is, let me try this. Gobble paint. That's not going to be light enough, is that? Really close.
Now you're whispering, sorry.
I'm talking to myself, trying to figure out this, how bright this highlight is, and if I got the right one. I'm gonna go with this. This is cad red, phthalo green on the cad red side, tons of white to about a 3, and that goes right in there, and probably up in here. Just a touch of more red into it. And highlight. Mouth color, definitely. Let me see if this works. It might work. Touch. Let me try this. Yeah, that works. That's cad red. This is the same color. Cad red and on the cad red side, phthalo green, cad red, and white. It's what I used right in here. And right there, those highlights in that area. Also, it's right there on its above its eye. There's a few areas there that need to be lightened, but I found it right here in the muzzle, but I also had a lot of warmth already in there. So you grab some of that. Now with a different brush, see how much red I have in this side? Basically painted it red. And now I'm going to come back in with that. It's lighter version basically, and hit the outsides of that nose and tip it back in here. That's good. That's good. Final highlights in the back. Maybe you probably find them, it's like you don't have to really recreate the wheel. These colors these colors, they're there. They're probably in here too. But then you always have a few kind of nice reflective, blues and purples and stuff in places like this. We said highlights in there yet. We got to do. All right. That's pretty interesting. That's looks really dark. Does not look anything like it yet. So let's start putting in the background. I'm going to switch off to a bigger brush. Big synthetic. I'm not going to use the one I painted it with because it has a lot of purple in it, or a lot of red in it. If I do that, I'll never get the colors out. but I do have some red in it, right? So here's the red in it. And right here, do need some, underneath here is, I'm going to lighten this area. I definitely don't have any, did not put in any purples and yellows and stuff in here that are going to need to come in here. Sorry. Cat orange and phthalo green. The orange side coming into this hay. I'm just going to place a little bit of that in here. And then we're going to try and get rid of everything afterwards. So everything's just little simple shapes. So, like I said, this is going to keep this the warm side. So I'm going to start off with this is phthalo green and a little bit of oxide red with tons of white in it. And that he might be too light, but we're going to lay it in here. And this is going to be my warm side. This side of the head over here to right here. That's going to be warm. That's my warmer oxide side. Like I said, this is what I should have done. I'm going to put this in. This is phthalo green. This is just the darker version of it without white. I should have worked this in right to the edge of that ear too. The purple, I should have worked this in just a scab more. This is alizarin and blue into this side, just to give these colors something to grab onto. As you can see, when they grab onto nothing, they just look like nothing. They just a little flat. So push these darks back in before I get rid of them. Put them in before I take them out. Yeah, that's what you do. Okay, back to well, this is just back to phthalo. No, this is blue and oxide and not transparent, burnt sienna. Coming back in here. I'm just washing it out a little bit. What this should be able to do is right around the eyes, when you start getting this background in, you should be able to start softening things. Soft things should soften naturally. You shouldn't have to do too much. Here is the red side of that, which I was thinking was going to end up being down in here. So just grabbing a little bit of this smoke here. One of the things is just keep your brush moving and at different angles. Just keep twisting it. Don't let it stop too much. Find the big areas. Don't really, that's almost too much. I'll leave it there. I think I can dig into this blue a little bit heavier. Oh, right to there. And then over top his head. Then I'll go to the cooler sides for everything else. I'm going to go on the phthalo or alizarin and blue side and blue, but this is on the blue side. See? That is almost perfect. That is really close to what I want. So nice clean spot right there. I'll paint and there. Everything else can kind of go, a little soft. Everything else can be soft. Gonna start grabbing some of these colors back in here and just smushing them together. I don't want to lose them. I don't want my smushes. I want my, uh, different colors coming through. That's what the cool side does, comes down when it comes in these areas. Just a little too strong. Just blend it out. Okay, that's about it for today. Some of this ochreish. Gonna get into this nose here too. Yeah. And the last thing is, just look for these softening of areas around his ears and stuff. Just a little bit more. And the highlights in the nose. Kim, I think, hit it right. But sometimes just removing highlights instead of painting them is really good. Let me see if I can have my here. Where'd it go? Oh well. Really somewhere. Removing some paint and yeah. There we go. I got to get in front of it now and straighten everything out, but that's pretty much as much highlights you really need. You don't need too much of those things to come through because they will jump forward. I'll bring it in close. You can see what I was just doing there in the nose and then up into the eyes. So that side's cool, that side warm. Coming down. I'm gonna lose a lot of this yet. Soften up. I'm gonna blend out a few of those areas, but one of the things is also you don't want to lose a lot of strokes. But I can see that, yeah, this purple's here showing through too much. As purple, it feels like it's, from this spot over here. So this will definitely be a lot of smooshing around. Not a nice little things too. All right. Let's see what everybody else did. We got Cindy, Kim, and Anne Marie's here. Hi, Anne Marie.
Hey, John.
How you doing?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Did you get to paint today?
No, not a good day.
Understand. Understand.
That is one good-looking cow.
I tell you, going to market. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. It's a good start. It's a decent start. At least the colors are there and things, but there's still definitely some smoke on this side and some things over there. He's a smoking cow. The smoking cow. That's what it is. There you go. I got the name for it. Okay. Kim, let's see, Kim. Everybody turn your stuff on. Cindy too, voice, and we're set to go. Hey, Kim.
Hello.
Let's see here. Did you have a cow?
I have a cow.
She has a cow. Good. That's a nice looking cow.
Moo.
Yeah. Hey, could you move it over a little bit to the? There we go. There we go.
Looks
I
good.
like the way the red. The way you put the red in the face. That nose area really feels good, and around the neck. Good job there. And into the nose. You got a lot more painted than it looks. I mean, if you come into that face, you did a really good job. Okay. Yes. Good job on that. And in the background, good. And then you got some smoke already drifting in from the sides. And, I like her idea. Look at that chicken back there she put in. She did go with the chicken.
I did. It looked
There's
more
your-
and more
there's
like.
You don't have to do, yeah. That's the thing is you don't have to. It does feel like a chicken already just because of the legs and the
Yeah.
skinniness and thing. Good job. That works. Don't worry about everything else then, and just keep it soft in the background, and then keep it a little bit soft around the body there, and you should be good. Really
Good.
good. Great
Thank you.
start. Fabulous. Really fabulous. Congrats. Let's go on to Cindy.
Oh, boy.
Got Cindy. Sarah's coming up, and then Carrie. No messing. Oh,
Look at him.
that's
her.
fabulous. That is fabulous.
What
Congrats,
a
Cindy.
dear.
That's really super nice.
what a
Thank you.
darling cow.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the way the colors are in his face, the mutedness, and how dark you really got his eyes in pretty well already. Yeah, I think when you come in to the cow a little bit on the sides and stuff, just keep it a little like you are. You're keeping it a little softer, a little and stuff. I think you'll be fine. It's beautiful.
Thank you. It's fun. I really like him.
Oh, good. Yeah, he's looking great. Yeah, finish up the background a little bit. You should be really close. I'd say work a little bit more warmth into his neck.
Right. Okay.
That kind of area back in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that will help the side of his face too a little bit. But and watch his ear. I think his ear might be just a hair too big on that side. Yeah.
That
So
must
I'd say just push the darks up into it and then move the highlight up. Basically, everything. Just take the highlight, move it up one step where it begins, make that where it ends, and you'll be fine.
great.
It'll match up with the other ear a lot better. Good job. I like that. I like a lot of it. Good. You can start to feel the structure in the face and everything. And he has a great haircut too. Look at that haircut. He looks like Mo.
I like that little stick out part, just like I have.
Well, congrats. Good job there.
Stay down,
Beautiful, Cindy. Good work.
Thank you.
All right. So let's see. We got Sarah and we have Carrie coming up. Carrie's ready to go. Good.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Oh, nice. Sarah, you can tell right now how well that's drawn. That's really great. You really nailed it. Okay. Yeah, the reds, you can see the reds in the face. There he comes. in the
Very
eyeballs.
nice. Good job.
Yeah, a little more glare, but that's good. Fabulous. I'd say watch this just like mine. That blue purple on the by his behind his nose, in the background. Yeah, you're probably gonna have to push that back a little bit, maybe gray it out a little bit more because that's it just jumps out at you and takes away from the cow. That's exactly what I told you to do. So you're fine. Otherwise, you really congrats on painting it so much. You got so much done. It's just really finishing work and stuff. Okay, nice work. All right, Carrie. There's no Carrie. Okay, let's stay here for a while and look at her room. What has she got back there? She got one of my
Oh, she's
dogs.
got one of your dogs. Yeah,
My
got two of
dog's
your dogs.
painted back there. Oh, look at that. Congrats. You got
Well,
nice
man.
skylights. Yeah.
Looks
Like-
like you got another dog on down a little bit further with the yellow sky or something. It looks
Oh,
like a
yeah.
dog.
You know, I tell you. Well, that looks nice. She has a nice studio, I must say.
Yeah, she sure does.
I'm never going to show you guys mine. All right. Anybody I miss? I don't think so. Okay. Coming back. Yeah. I will finish up the cow and put it up today, later today, probably with hopefully some corrections to it.
Can you zoom in on his eyes again, her eyes? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as you can tell, I have not totally dived into those guys.
No, I was just looking, I wanted to look because, the placement of the eyes in terms of the sides of the head versus the front. So,
Yeah, I could be way off. I'll take a better look of it when I can stand in front of it a little bit more. That's the thing about doing these anything with feels like portraits and stuff. Yeah, you can be off so much and embarrass myself so much. But I'm good at taking it, so I'm okay. All right. Hey, I'm sorry about the beginning there, running a couple minutes late, so we went a couple minutes over to make up for it. Which we need to get out of here at 12. That's why Carrie left. So anyway, thank you guys ever so much for being here and painting along with me. Have a great Mother's Day. to
Thank you,
everyone.
Jim.
oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
guys deserve it.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
All right, then. We'll
Have a
see
good
you
one.
Next week.
see you all next week for another tough one.
Sounds good.
All right. Take
Thank
her
you.
easy.
Have a good week.
Bye.